this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also talk about how most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
Tax season has arrived, and doing taxes without the right help can feel overwhelming. Intuit TurboTax is here now to guide you through it with confidence. Match with a TurboTax full-service expert who handles everything for you from start to finish. Your dedicated expert checks every single deduction and credit to help you get the best possible outcome so you can feel confident you're getting every dollar you deserve. And the best part? You'll see real-time updates on your expert's progress right on your phone while you live your life. Plus, you get unlimited expert help at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Visit TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax full-service experts. Real-time updates only on iOS mobile app.
Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you? Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. With me, as always, is Charles W. Chuck Bryant, and we are going to sit still for this episode of Stuff You Should Know.
Not me, buddy.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to do some Kong vaulting.
Hey, Chuck, you watch The Office, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
love it.
In season 6, which I guess was last year,
Okay.
second episode,
Yeah.
starts out very funny with Michael, Andy, and Dwight all engaged in a little something called parkour.
Yeah.
And they shout parkour like every couple of seconds, right?
Of course they do.
And then what struck me as funny, especially after we decided to do this episode, is that Jim explains what parkour is for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
And he cites it as the internet sensation of 2004. So it took, Michael 6 years to finally catch on to it.
What's up?
It's taking us 7 to finally start podcasting on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had calls for this one since we started the show. People have written in and said, "What about parkour, dude?
Yeah.
I love it."
Parkour.
And we know it's old.
Yeah.
So we're not.
But
we've not just discovered this.
It's in this article clearly has been on the site since about 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a date cited in it as like 2006. And from the extra research that we did on this, it seems like this community has strengthened, expanded, and gotten more legitimate. Mm-hmm. Whereas, I'm sure with a lot of the rest of the world, it's like the awe and amazement of it, or the newness is worn off. But I was heartened to see that the people who do parkour are like, well, we don't really care if you like it or not. We're going to keep doing this. And they've grown and gotten better.
Yeah, I think most people that I know have the same reaction, though, when they see the parkour videos for the first time, which is, this is pretty cool.
Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like anybody's like,
No.
this sucks. It's,
No, I know.
like the newness is worn off for the general public.
Yeah, but people are generally knocked out and then bored.
Right. So, Chuck,
Yes.
I think we should begin the begin. Right?
Great song.
In 1902, on a little island in the Caribbean known as Martinique.
You ever been there?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Don't you think I would tell you every couple of days, like, oh, I've been to Martinique?
Yeah, you probably would. Yeah, it's got a pretty interesting history, and some trace the birth of parkour back to then. A French naval officer named Lieutenant George Herbert.
I don't think that's how you say his name.
What would you say in French?
Georges Hébert.
Georges Hébert. What happened was the volcano blew up in 1902 there, and he
In Martinique.
Yeah, in Martinique. He coordinated the rescue of locals and Europeans there, and had a chance to watch people fleeing this, and saw a decided difference, I take it, between some of his European comrades and the local Caribbeans.
Well, people were like trying to get around obstacles, like, chunks of flying rock that had landed right in front of them and running for their lives. Something about that scene struck Hébert like, wow, this is really amazing.
Well, he saw a great deal of athleticism going on around him, and he said, you know what? You combine that with some courage, and what you have is what we're going to call in America to be strong and useful. How would you say that in French, Josh?
Strong and useful.
Être fort pour être utile. That's
Nice.
what I'm saying.
And that's the basis of the natural method, right?
Yeah, the natural method, which in French would be what? Method naturelle.
Sure.
And that inspired French military training. That became the basis for French military training. Apparently, they were the first people to use obstacle courses.
Or
what? The Path of the Warrior, Parcours de Combattant.
yeah,
So you hear that word parkour with a C.
I heard it.
That's where it came from.
Yeah. So, and this guy is like this French physical fitness guru that you've never heard of, but really has inspired a lot of the probably cleaner cut quarters of France, right?
Yes.
So that formed the part of the basis for the philosophy of what came to be known as parkour, because it inspired this kid named David Bell, right?
Well, first it was his father, Raymond Bell, was a soldier in French Special Forces.
Okay.
He learned all this stuff, passed it on to his son, David, and said, it's pretty cool. You might want to learn this.
Yeah, and we left out a very important point. The natural method is basically like physical fitness is all you need is what you find in nature. So you want to do some chin-ups? Go find a tree branch, jerk.
Yeah.
You want to like work out your upper body? Push a huge rock up a hill.
Yeah.
You know?
Or isometrics, push against a wall.
Right. And then the point of that, this is the other big point. The point of being physically fit is, like you said, so you can be useful to society.
Yeah.
In case of an emergency, in case an old lady needs help. Like you can pick her up and carry her across the street with one hand, that kind of thing.
There's something to be said for that.
Okay, so David Bell is 15 years old. It's 1988. He lives in Lises, France, which is a suburb of Paris. And his dad's been like, check this dude out. And he is just inspired
Yeah.
by not only Hebert, but also a guy named Bruce Lee.
That's right. Bruce Lee's fluid movements, not as rigid as a lot of martial artists were before him.
It's
Very
about
inspiring.
adaptability, adapting to the situation.
Yeah, sure.
Somewhere in that, in David Bell's brain, he'd put that together. He put Bruce Lee, Georges Hebert, and a mailbox in front of him, all together, and decided to leap over it with his hands rather than walk around it.
Boom, parkour.
That's parkour.
He added a K instead of a C.
Yep.
Got together with his best buddy, Sebastian Foucan, and they established a group. They called themselves Tresseurs.
Which,
and,
tresseur means to leave a trail in French.
Okay.
Tresseur is slang in Paris for hurry.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Hurry up and make a trail.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. So they organized a group, the first group of parkour enthusiasts, basically called the Yamakaze, not to be confused with Yamazaki, which is Suntory time. It's Japanese single malt whiskey.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So anyway,
I had it in an Okonomiyaki station.
chances are if you type in Yamakaze on the internet, it'll bring up the other Yamazaki, and you'll be buying liquor before you know it.
And then you can watch some cool parkour videos while you imbibe.
That's right.
Support for the show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt. From renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year, you can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, builds a one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then, you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like EFTs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/podcast and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/podcast. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors, LLC. SEC registered advisor. Generated assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
Every great idea deserves the power to bring it to life. Meet the all-new Dell XPS laptop, the perfect combination of style, power, and performance, designed to elevate everything you do. With its modern, ultra-thin design, it's as stunning as it is functional. And the battery? It's built to last all day long. From that first sip of coffee to your evening wind down without missing a beat. And when it comes to performance, the XPS doesn't just keep up, it leads the way. Whether you're tackling your biggest projects or bringing your creative vision to life, it's built for editing photos, mixing tracks, and designing masterpieces. Powered by the Series 3 Intel Core Ultra processors, the XPS gives you the freedom to create without limits all day long. The Dell XPS proves there's no need to compromise. Style, power, and reliability come together in one expertly crafted machine. Check out the all-new Dell XPS at dell.com/XPS.
Luc Besson, famous French filmmaker, made a film called The Yamakaze. Definitely kicked up the awareness about what parkour was.
Right, and prior to that, he included it in his film Taxi 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that was the first time parkour was introduced to the general public in mass media. And because Luc Besson apparently was a huge devotee very early on. So in 2 different movies in 2 successive years, he made, parkour part of the theme.
Yeah, and if you recognize Belle's buddy's name, Sebastian Foucan, he was the dude who was chased in Casino Royale, the opening awesome parkour chase.
Yeah.
That Daniel Craig chases this dude.
Yeah. So it starts to kind of percolate into to the public consciousness in the early 2000s. The late 90s, we should say, by the late 90s, there was already a rift in the parkour community.
Yeah, the communities like this always like to battle. Like, there's always purists, it seemed like, and then people who want to change it and take it into what they feel like is the next level.
Right.
Like skateboarding, same thing happened back in the 70s.
So with parkour, the point is, if you're a purist with parkour, you never move backwards. Everything is for utility, and you get from point A to point B as efficiently as possible, which often includes jumping over a mailbox.
Yeah, the main rule, and this is what's cool in parkour, is that obstacles are used to increase your efficiency.
Yes.
So it's not like, this is something I got to go around. It's let me use this to vault forward faster.
And possibly gain some momentum, maybe
Yeah.
trade a little kinetic energy for a little potential energy.
Yeah.
And then turn that into more kinetic energy.
Uh-huh. And
And then drink a few Red Bulls.
well, Red Bull actually sponsored one of the, what was it called? The Red Bull Art of Motion tournament. Yeah. It's a competition.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in a minute because the purists don't like the competition aspect. But the motto of the WFPF, which is the World Freerunning and Parkour Federation, I think that was established in 2007, it is no obstacle, no freedom, KNOW for both. Get it?
I do now. I didn't until you told me about the K.
You know your freedom. Cool.
So parkour A to B using obstacles, never going backwards. Free running, huge difference. You can go backwards.
Now, going backwards, does that mean like you, I get the idea from parkour is that you're running toward the wall and you don't stop and go, all right, let me see. I should probably go like here. You just attack the wall, don't you?
I think that's the case with both of them. But really, honestly, one of the main differences is like free running allows for movement backward to continue going forward, where parkour is like, no, you have to keep going forward all the time.
And free running also allows for movements that are purely aesthetic in nature,
Yes.
right? And not necessarily just the efficiency of moving forward.
Right. Those are the two differences between free running and parkour. And
Also
if you
known
think
as
that's,
flair.
If you think that's stupid, well, the reason behind it is that there was a rift or a separation in ideals between David Bell and his the FP. Wait, what is it? WFPF.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the WFPF puts it, his then best friend Sebastian Foucan.
Yeah, they fell out, I guess.
I think they're still buddies, but basically Foucan's like, no, you can move backwards, and Bell's like, no, you can't. And they were like, well, it looks like we have a problem here.
Probably.
And that's where free running came from. It split off from parkour.
I bet you there was a little bit of, well, I founded it and you were in Casino Royale.
Well, that came after. So that split was in the late 90s.
So that really cemented it then.
Yeah. And then a lot of people are like, Foucan is a big sellout. He's in ads. He's just all flash and everything. And And that apparently that argument doesn't hold much water because David Bell has done quite a bit to bring parkour into the public consciousness. Specifically, he introduced it to Britain in 2002, I believe, right? With a BBC short.
Yeah, Rush Hour. Did you see it? It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's on, he's sitting, it's very much like an ad. He's sitting in his apartment and his clothes, and then he gets up, and takes his shirt off, of course, and strips down to the running pants, and then just climbs out his window and takes off. And there's, traffic going below, and he's zipping all over the place like a, parkour expert that he is.
Right.
And then he eventually gets back in his apartment and sits back down on the couch and is like, yeah, I'm done.
And so they showed that on BBC One, and everybody was like, what was that? That was awesome. And then they found out, well, wait a minute, the people actually do this. This guy is real, and that was the birth of parkour. I think a year later, Urban Free Flow, which is like the de facto British wing of parkour and free running.
Mm-hmm.
Free running?
Yeah.
And for some reason, my brain just glitched, and I was like, that's not right.
Well, and almost immediately kids started getting hurt because they didn't, I don't know if they didn't realize, but Bell had a decade of training of learning this craft.
Or creating it. And then teenagers saw Rush Hour and like, oh, let me go out and let me try to scale a wall. And there were a couple of deaths. There was one recently, actually, in California, right? In Sacramento in 2009, a kid was into parkour, and he died from falling off of an 8-story parking deck.
Yeah, and we should have front-loaded this, but this is where we say parkour can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
I think it can be very dangerous even if you do know what you're doing.
Yeah, it requires a high degree of skill with gymnastics, possibly martial arts.
Yeah, if you look at Sebastian Foucan, the dude is ripped.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be able to hang on to a ledge with one hand if he really needs to.
I can't.
The average 12-year-old doesn't have that kind of upper body strength.
Exactly.
But the average 12-year-old is the one who's really fascinated with this.
Yeah, and if you are fascinated, and there are a lot more, it's been legitimized to the extent that there are a lot more training facilities, indoor, padded things where you can practice this kind of thing, so you don't just go out and hit the streets and start jumping off of buildings.
That's right.
We would not advise that.
No.
All right.
So, Chuck, I think in the public imagination, there's a lot of comparisons with skateboarding, right? Well, there's kids they're right there in front of the courthouse, so and they're skateboarding and they're not using a skateboard, but they like to be doing the same thing. Apparently, especially parkour purists find this very very offensive.
That's not offensive. I see a lot of similarities.
I don't think it's offensive either.
Using buildings, same deal.
They're basically no, skateboarders are bad kids. We're good kids. We're doing this so we can be useful to society when the time comes.
Skateboarders are great kids.
Agreed.
And, Josh, like skateboarding in the 70s, once the popularity increased, it started to be thrown or prostituted, if you will, onto ads and TV shows and corporate events. They listed that. I did not know corporate events hired parkour people.
Corporate event. If you got enough money, you do everything.
Okay.
There's this great show of Bruce Hornsby playing for the Fujitsu Corporation's Christmas party, and it's awesome. It's an hour and a half long Bruce Hornsby show, and he gets increasingly drunker to where he does a little ditty, an improv ditty about his scotch.
Really?
Yeah, it's really great. It's really great. If you can ever get your hands on that bootleg, it's worth it.
Well, and then Up in the Air, which I know you didn't care for, but when they had hired Young MC for that one corporate event to perform, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Bust a move.
Support for this show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt, from renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year. You can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, buys one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like ETFs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/SYSK and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/SYSK. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors, LLC, SEC registered advisor. Generated Assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not an investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
Every great idea deserves the power to bring it to life. Meet the all-new Dell XPS laptop, the perfect combination of style, power, and performance, designed to elevate everything you do. With its modern, ultra-thin design, it's as stunning as it is functional. And the battery? It's built to last all day long, from that first sip of coffee to your evening wind down without missing a beat. And when it comes to performance, the XPS doesn't just keep up, it leads the way. Whether you're tackling your biggest projects or bringing your creative vision to life, it's built for editing photos, mixing tracks, and designing masterpieces. Powered by the Series 3 Intel Core Ultra processors, the XPS gives you the freedom to create without limits all day long. The Dell XPS proves there's no need to compromise. Style, power, and reliability come together in one expertly crafted machine. Check out the all-new Dell XPS at dell.com/XPS.
All right. Yes, like skateboard. Also, like skateboarding, once competition started to be mentioned, purists said, no. It's not about competition. We compete all the time against each other on the streets, man.
Yeah.
But we don't need no medal. We don't need no judge.
Word.
But, like anything.
Red Bull was like, what about this stack of money?
Red Bull and Barclay World Free Running Championships. MTV has a show now, of course, called Ultimate Parkour Challenge. Mm-hmm. The purists still aren't too happy about most of that, to be honest. There's a lot of complaining going on parkour boards.
And here we are, representing both coasts, east and west.
That's right. Let's talk about the moves.
Let's do it. You want to talk about the cat leap first?
Yeah, there's a few standard moves.
So the cat leap is basically like, say you're, close your eyes, unless you're driving right now. Say you are on the edge of one 5-foot parking deck.
Okay.
Right? It's 5 feet off the ground. Mm-hmm. And then there's there's a gap, a 5-foot gap in between it and the edge of another parking deck, which is 7 feet off the ground.
Yeah, there's a wall in front of you.
So let's say you are, you're like, well, I think a cat leap would be best for this. What you do is you run off of the first parking deck, jump the gap, grab the ledge of the second parking deck, and hit it with your feet.
You just plant it right there on the wall.
And basically you're just hanging off the side for a nanosecond before you use the momentum to pull yourself up with your arms and jump the rest of the way onto the next parking.
Yeah, very cat-like. It's used to get onto a higher object than you're currently on, and it's a good way.
That's much better put.
The roll, very common. You've seen stunt guys do this forever. They jump off a building onto a lower building, and they always, to absorb the shock on their legs, they tuck and roll.
They absorb it in their shoulder instead.
Exactly. Tuck and roll, cover the head, pop back up, and keep going, because it's all about forward movement with parkour.
Yeah.
Whereas I would jump off, I would land, probably break my ankle, vomit, and then lay there until somebody found me. That's what Chuck would do. My favorite, as you know, is the Kong vault.
Well, the Kong vault's the coolest.
It's the coolest. It looks like what apes do in the jungle. You run up on, let's say, a wall, and you leap forward, and you push yourself off with your hands.
Plant with your hands.
And don't let your legs touch it all, and just follow on through. And there's double Kong rolls where you tap twice. There's triples. We saw a quadruple in a gym.
So basically, when your hand is touching that wall, your body is laid out behind you.
It's like you're diving toward it almost.
Exactly. But you have your two hands about just a little ahead of your shoulders. And then right when your hands touch, you bring your legs up basically through your chest and the wall. And then you just bound away. You vault away. Hence the name Kong vault.
Looks very animal-like. And one of the early practitioners said that he noticed that it's it's like witnessing an animal in the jungle. Very aggressive.
That's one of the goals of parkour, is that you can basically move as quickly and fluidly as an animal, and instinctually too, is what I understand. I will never know that sensation.
No.
But it's what I understand is the goal.
You got the precision jump, which is pretty easy. It's basically like a standing broad jump.
You just jump from one place to another.
Yeah, but that's if like I want to jump on that little 2-foot section of wall. Like you don't have the benefit of a roll because there's nothing else there.
Yeah, and then the speed vault.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's basically
I
like
could probably do that.
How any kid has ever jumped like a chain link fence. You just put one hand down and throw your feet the opposite side over. And I guess with parkour, the difference is that you're doing this much more quickly.
Yes, and you keep running, and those are just a handful of moves. There are many, many more gymkata-like moves that you can do, like side wall runs and sliding, and people now are doing those little half flips, adding a little flair to it. I guess the free runners are pretty cool.
So, Chuck, let's say that you are listening to this. You're like, I have tons of upper body strength. I'm 18 or older.
I have no regard for my own well-being.
Right, and I'm really interested in this. Where would one go to find out more about parkour or to learn parkour?
You'd go to a jam.
Well, that's one place.
It's when they get together and hit the streets. But if you want to learn, like I said, you can go to there's gyms all over the country now.
There's academies where you can you can pay. If you go to parkour.com/groups, you can look up basically people who are doing it in your area.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the most recommended ones, especially if you don't have any cash to shell out, because you're going to learn in the context of other people who know parkour, more than you do.
Sure.
And so you'll learn. You'll learn safety as well, but you'll be challenged too. And then, yes, there's academies as well. There's videos everywhere.
Everywhere.
YouTube has at least 6 different channels, according to parkour.com, of just parkour videos. And basically, you want to wear a helmet at all times. You want to wear knee pads and one of those big sumo guy suits.
I don't see parkour people wearing any of that stuff.
No, well, I'm COA,
beginners,
dude.
Okay.
COA.
Yeah, beginners, you should always do that.
Oh, also, I should have probably mentioned at the beginning of this that by downloading this episode and pressing play, you immediately forfeited any rights to sue us or any of our parent companies.
Yeah, be careful out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to, what my goal in life should be? I want to do a successful Kong leap.
That is not going to happen.
I want to do that, dude.
I will watch you try.
I'm fast.
I will watch you try anytime.
I'm a lot faster than you would think.
Let's go right now.
I get these little legs pumping, and I get my upper body leaning in the right direction.
Okay.
And it's pretty funny.
I will watch you.
Emily remarks about my cat-like speed for a guy with a few extra pounds on him.
Okay. I want to see this.
I'm going to learn this.
Okay.
No,
I want to watch you practice, too. I don't want to just see the final result.
I'm going to perfect it.
I want to see everything leading up to that.
Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn it in secret, and then next time we're in New York, I'm just going to bust it out one day, and you're going to be like,
so
holy crap, Chuck just did a Kong leap.
That would be very surprising. I look forward to that day.
All right, me too.
If you want to learn more about parkour, type in Parkour, not with the C, because then it wouldn't be down with the street, into the search bar at howstuffworks.com. And I said search bar. I didn't say handy. Either way, it still brings up listener mail.
That's right, Josh. We're going to call this, and the winner is, because you and I have to decide. Did you get this from Matt from England? He and his wife, a twisted couple. This is great.
I hate it when you put me on the spot like this.
It's okay. I know you read it. Hey guys, flippin' great podcast. I love it. I'm a watch commander in the fire service here in Leeds, England, and my wife is an A&E nurse.
It's an entertainment nurse.
I think that's emergency room in England, maybe. I'm guessing, because she sees some weird stuff. Right now, we have always tried to tirelessly one-up one another at the end of each shift, which with the worst story of the day, because they both see odd things.
Odd and horrific stuff.
Generally, we tie on things like car wrecks, fires, burn victims, suicides. And by the way, I'm acutely aware of how sick this is, but it's the spice that keeps our particular chili going. That's what he says.
Wow.
The only ones, he's talking shop about work,
sure,
basically. The ones we really compete with are the extra disgusting ones. So here's a conundrum. On the last tour I was sure I had a winner, we had to assist a morbidly obese gentleman from his house onto an ambulance gurney. Upon moving his portly frame, I felt something land on my leg. I couldn't initially... Jerry's getting grossed out already. I couldn't initially see what it was because my hands and face were pressed firmly into the mushy flesh at the time, but I could hear the intakes of breath and gipping noises from the firefighters on my shift. I don't even know what a gipping noise is. On inspection, it turned out that 9 inches of this man's intestines were draped over my wet legs. Stuck for what to do in such an instance. Should I push it back in, carry it with me, tuck it into his pocket? I opted to shuffle with him to his to the ambulance and then gently peel it free from my leg and set it beside him, making sure to break the awkward silence with, "Here you go, mate. You better take this with you." Regardless of this incident, I was sure I had my wife beat, and then she hits me with this. A guy walked into her triage department, pulled his pants down, and had the tail of a fish sticking out of his rear end. Evidently, it had been frozen and then thawed out. I get the feeling this was one of those Doc, it was a 1,000,000 to 1 chance type of things. And when it thawed out, the bones splayed out and it became stuck inside of his butt. So boys, I need your help. Which one wins? Which is worse?
Chuck, this is much like comparing apples to oranges. In some ways they're similar. They're both roundish. They're both fruits. But then they have many distinctions. The apple's skin is smooth. The orange is speckled. The orange is orange colored. The apple is generally red, although it can be yellowish or green. Yeah. You never see an orange apple, I guess is my point. I'm going to say that while they're both extremely interesting, both entirely gruesome, the fish story is far too comical to win this one, in my opinion. I think the man's intestines coming out and having to be put back in by hand with a gentle, "Here you go, mate," is by far the winner.
I agree. I feel like Judge John Hodgman, all of a sudden, we render our verdict, and we're going with you, Matt. You are the winner. Matt in Leeds, England, congratulations for enduring the intestine on your leg.
Yes, definitely.
And he said anytime if we're ever in Leeds, he will let us ride on the fire truck.
Awesome. So, I would take him up on that.
I would too.
So we really should have put that one after the decapitation podcast, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Well. It would have been fitting. Either way, if you ever accidentally stumbled upon something, say, in your attic or at a yard sale that turned out to be extremely valuable, we love those stories and want to hear them. Send them to us. You can post them on Facebook, facebook.com/stuffyoushouldknow, Twitter, right? SYSK Podcast, or email it to us, stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. To learn more about the podcast, click on the podcast icon in the upper right corner of our homepage. The How Stuff Works iPhone app has arrived. Download it today on iTunes. Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you?
The NFL playoffs are here, and Wild Card Weekend powered by Verizon is in full swing.
Man, it all comes down to this.
The stakes are high, hopes are higher, and everything is on the line.
My goodness!
It's win or go home, and every moment counts on the road to Super Bowl 60.
It's a touchdown!
Wild Card Weekend powered by Verizon. Through Monday. Visit watch.nfl.com for the full schedule.
These days, it seems like AI agents are just about everywhere you turn, every field and every function. But without identity, you can't trust they'll serve your business instead of jeopardizing it. Fortunately, Okta helps you get identity right by securing your AI agents' identities, giving you a single layer of control, a single standard of trust. So whether an AI agent supports a single user or your entire enterprise, with Okta, you'll turn risk into opportunity. Secure every agent. Secure any agent. Okta secures AI.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.